Here we are for the final round. Our hand looks great, and once again, we're on the play. So I'm excited about this one. Looks like we want to... It's interesting because I want to capitalize on my scales, but I also kind of want to play out all these things, particularly in case my opponent is doing something Inquisition-oriented. So I think we will do it this way. I miss a counter. Doing it this way, but I don't know. Maybe I'm supposed just to hold this. I guess it doesn't really matter, particularly because I have the Pendelhaven to utilize as well. Yeah, I'm definitely supposed to just hold this, I think. Inkmoth is interesting. But against a Seachrome Coast, probably can play this first. Yeah, let's do this first. Alternatively, we could have played this and Pendelhaven to this. All right, so maybe humans, maybe blue-eyed spirits, probably humans though. All right, well, not much to do over here. We had the right early start, but didn't have a lot of ways to capitalize, and these Darksteel Citadels don't necessarily alleviate that. Fortunately for us, though, the threat of this Inkmoth Nexus means if these Arcbound if these Arcbound workers bite it for whatever reason, those will be able to get some damage done. The question is, what am I supposed to Pendelhaven? Probably this. I don't know. It's close. I just imagine that these Arcbound workers aren't going to go the distance, and if they're not going to go the distance, we're going to have them die at some point to put counters on Inkmoth instead. All right. Wonder what my opponent just drew. Another Noble Hierarch. That makes sense. All right, we'll start with the stirrings. Try to find a Ravager for the kill. Overseer, land Ravager. Definitely cast this before we give our opponent any kind of priority to screw us with like a Meddling Mage. So Freebooter stops a kill, but they have to block everything, so... And I doubt they have Freebooter. Probably would have happened in my draw step. Is there something else? Phantasmal Image? Okay. They do have Freebooter. It's unfortunate that I had to tap my Pendelhaven. I'm surprised, though, that this didn't come down. Especially with Pendelhaven. Like, I get that they might want to have tried to eat this in combat, but with Pendelhaven, that's not going to happen already. I guess I just use a jar to save it if I want to as well. But they have to block all these or they die. So I definitely want to keep my Inkmoth There's a lot to think about here. I'm going to kill this Noble Hierarch for sure. I think I want to keep my Ravager around. So I think I sack this modular counter on this. And then I don't even have to use my jar. Yeah, I think that's fine. Sure. Kill the freebooter as well, which we want to do so we can threaten to kill with the Ink Moth next turn. Obviously, when they if and when they take this up to 3, then they have access to other cards that stop Ink Moth from being a kill. But and obviously, if they have Reflector Mage to deal with my Ravager now, then we wouldn't be able to kill them with Ink Moth this turn. But looks like they pack it in here just a little bit too slow of a start for them, and we had a good one. So Dismembers are likely worth it. I don't think Pithing Needle for Vial or any kind of natural state for Vial is worth it. I wonder if they... No, I guess they won't really have anything efficient to deal with what we're doing. There's no real sideboard cards that I'm like particularly concerned that they would be bringing. Does Pithing Needle do anything else for me in the matchup? Not really. So I mostly just want to be doing my thing and trying to get over the top. Apostle's Blessing is interesting. I think I can afford to cut it. My biggest concerns are Reflector Mage, and a lot of their creatures are white, so pro-white can often get through, but they do have some non-white creatures. I guess it's mostly just Freebooter, and if Phantasmal Image copies something weird, and Noble Hierarch. But I think that's enough that I'm less interested in that for that purpose. And then cut the module and just stick with this. I think that's where I want to be. Before I sided in these, I would put in my 1 Pithing Needle. I think 1 Pithing Needle for Vial is respectable. I think I might actually want to bring it in. There's a lot of hands that they keep that they depend heavily on Vial. And I think these jars are a little weak. I still want early artifact density for Opal, but swapping in Pithing Needle is comparable, so I think I can live with that. So I'm gonna shave a jar for a Pithing Needle there. And I could see this Apostle's Blessing being better than the jar, but... Okay, this hand is very medium, but I don't think it's a mulligan. The problem is that I don't have Steel Overseer or Hardened Scales. Obviously we have Ravager, but it's a little bit harder to just go off with Ravager. I guess I'd prefer to lead on Sparring Construct, right? Since I don't... Like, if I drew Hardened Scales, I'd want to go Hardened Scales, Arcbound Worker. Canopy is like the other thing I could Pithing Needle, but we obviously have our own canopies, so it would be a little bit of a bummer. Freebooter not hitting much here. Okay, Citadel. Probably just want to play Ravager. And I think I want to do so off Ink Moth. Don't think slamming my Sparring Construct into this Freebooter makes a lot of sense. If my opponent were to say Reflector Mage by Arcbound Ravager, we would just let that happen. If they were to target the Sparring Construct, though, I'd happily sack it. But I suspect neither of those things will be their play this turn. This slow drop from them is definitely one I feel like our hand can compete with, particularly because we could just make an enormous Ballista, or we could make an enormous Inkmoth Nexus, and it's really hard for them to deal with an enormous Inkmoth Nexus without a Vial, since we don't have the threat of Reflector Mage as their primary point of interaction. They can still get you with Dismember post board, though. So I think it's Arcbound, Animate, Attack with everything. So I guess I sack the Worker. So they have a Dismember for my Inkmoth. Okay. Well, I'm pretty happy to go in on this, I think. Just because it's so hard for my opponent to deal with. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So make it a 6/6. It's still... Oh, no, it doesn't die after this, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It becomes a 6/6. Dismember resolves. It's a 1/1. Gets a counter. It's a 2/2. Gets a counter. Oh, no, this is the Raptor getting a counter. So it gets a counter. It's a 2/2 and it wins in combat. I think I just do that. I don't have a lot going on anymore since we've drawn a bunch of additional forests here. So it doesn't matter how I do this. Whoops, that would have been bad. Sack it to itself. 6, 6, 7. Yeah, it's just one of those things where I want to count it like 800 times to make sure I don't just dumpster all of my permanents. Would like to use this ability. All right, so it's a 6/6. It's a 1/1. It's a 2/2. Yes, please. And then it wins combat. All right, not exactly how I expected that to go, but I'm fine with it. Now they're going to Stone Rain me somehow, and I'm going to feel real sad. Or get this Vial up to 3 in time, potentially, but... yeah, I guess that's a real concern. Sure. Now they definitely get their Vial up to 3 in time, pretty much no matter what. And then have a good blocker for it. So yeah, this is a little scary for us. If they have another flyer, I guess there's no real reason to play this. If they have another flyer, then they get to block our Inkmoth while it's a 7/7, then tick it up to 3 and Violent a Reflector Mage. Then, wow, okay, so they just have to have another Reflector Mage. But hopefully they don't have another way to block it, basically, is what I'm saying, post Reflector Mage on this Inkmoth. Oh no, they have a blocker right now for it. Oh yeah, that's brutal. That makes so much sense. I didn't consider that at all. Yeah, that's pretty bad. I guess I just pass. That makes perfect sense. I mean, I don't know that there's anything I can really do to play around that. Maybe I can. Maybe I'm supposed to try to get a big enough ballista to kill the reflector mage so that can't happen. Yeah, I'm probably supposed to try to do that. Looks like we're very dead now. All right. Well, I probably don't have enough time to, but I don't necessarily know that. But yeah, I guess I don't really have enough time to try to get a ballista. I guess I do just have to go for it. Maybe. No, I think I would make all the same decisions again. I think that's where we gotta be. But Pithing Needle would have won us that game, I guess. Natural State in theory would have as well, but I don't think I'm willing to go that deep. We'll just keep it like this. Interesting game. We just didn't really have the resources to play a longer game, I think. Okay, I will keep this. It's a Hardened Scales hand that interacts really well as well, so like if they just lead on Noble Hierarch, this game is going to be like very, very difficult for them. No. All right, Pithing Needle, now's your time. All right, not quite. So I think we just play Walker then. Yeah. I wanted to get a Noble Hierarch so bad. Not today. Gosh, too bad this is one tap, huh? Be really nice if it was just tap sack. As always, things costing less would make them better. What a shocker, right? I think I want to. So here's what I'm thinking. If I play Hangerback Walker, that insulates me a little better against Reflector Mage. Playing Ballista means I can shoot things down like Champion a little bit better. I think with the Dismember, I don't have to be super worried about that, and I'd rather play against Reflector Mage. Play a little better against Reflector Mage. And I upkeep this, I think. Maybe I want to be able to threaten a block, and I don't upkeep this. I mean, if they have Dismember, they have Dismember. It's not that big of a deal. I mean, I would definitely prefer to have 4 Thopters, but... Bugle Boy. I guess the problem with this is I'm worse against Meddling Mage. No, but not really, because I have the Dismember. Thalia's Lieutenant. Be happy to trade here. I think my opponent would not be so happy about that. Oh, wow. So I think I attack with my 4/4 Hangerback and play Steel Overseer. It's interesting that I'm like ignoring these ballistas. They could double block with like Bugler and Thalia's Lieutenant. Maybe that's what they intend to do, but I don't mind that. And I have this Dismember. I was gonna say that I am super happy about. Okay. I think I'm supposed to Dismember here. Dismember and playsteel Overseer. Yeah, that's fine. Then I don't get to use this hanger back, but that's okay. I don't know. Maybe I'm supposed to just... It just makes my Steel Overseer so much better if I keep both hangerbacks. But, like, I only have Phyrexia's Core to sack them, and that's pretty mana intensive. Mantis Rider. Alright, so I probably have to block this champion. Especially if this is another Mantis Rider. Wow, that's bad. Okay. Okay, so I need to draw land. I need to draw land because I have to kill this Staticaster. And that means I need to block. Brutal, brutal. I mean, I have the Pendelhaven or the Phyrexia's Core to save my token from the Staticaster. Pendelhaven, obviously less mana intensive. Phyrexia's Core would save the others if there were more, but I guess that means I play Ballista. So that if I miss on land again, I can play another Ballista and then actually kill this guy. Yeah. I think that's what I've got to do. I was trying to figure out if I'm supposed to attack with this. I think not. But I just need to be able to threaten to block. I'm unlikely to actually block. Unless my opponent uses their Staticaster first, right? If they lead on Staticaster, then I probably block. Sacking their Canopy up front. Tapping the Cavern instead of the Seachrome Coast. What could that possibly mean? That they have blue or white spells in their deck right now? Or, no, I mean, they have Ziggurat. They're not worried about illusions. That's strange. If this is like another Staticaster, I don't think I can do anything. Okay, Mantis Rider we can still play against. Alright, so I can't block with Hangerback Walker if they're not going to Staticaster first. So I'm just going to block with the tokens. And then get to activate my Hangerback Walker instead. Another walking ballista, but not the land. All right, so I'm going to lose the ballista as well, but there's nothing I can really do about that. There's no like attack or anything to make. I'm only going to get to leave 1 mana up again. That mana is going to be for Hangerback Walker to make 1,000,000 tokens. The problem is they're probably just going to bash me for 6. But then next turn I have the Phyrexia's Core to get 1,000,000 tokens. So yeah, that's still my plan. Ballista for 1, but it's really going to be 2. It looks bad, but I think we might still be able to get out of this. Maybe I'm not supposed to do this now. I mean, it's too late now, obviously, but I think I'm fine with doing it now because it just ends up with me killing this Hierarch, and they don't have Vial activations, and they don't get to use this twice, even though there's nothing to ping right now. Obviously, Reflector Mage just kills me. And it wouldn't literally kill me if I didn't do those things now, I guess, but it essentially would. Yep. The Mantis has been ridden. All right, so hopefully our opponent has nothing left. Clearly it's not Reflector Mage, or we'd be dead right now. And that's the card we're most scared of. Another land means I can Phyrexia's Core and do something else. But it's probably just activate Hangerback Walker, right? Get 10 guys. Yeah. So activate this. Is there a reason to do it now? I mean, I'll upkeep it, I guess. Not that it really matters. Definitely not letting my opponent get another draw before I tap this guy, but I mean, I guess that resolves, but okay. Tap this. Sack this Walker. Get 10 tokens and a life. Now I just have to worry about second Staticaster until I untap with Phyrexia's Core, and then I can play her on second Staticaster potentially if I leave that up. Image on Mantis Rider. Well, I'm not worried about killing this because I have the Ballista. But I could try to kill some of these. I'm assuming they just bash with everything, right? So this block is guaranteed, this block is guaranteed, and this block is guaranteed. Now we have the ability to potentially throw these on, which I think makes sense. Throw these on, which I think makes sense. I guess I play around Reflector Mage now, and then the question is whether I conserve this 3 points of life, or I'd rather have the Thopter. I guess I'll conserve the life with where we're at here. Still leaves me with 2 Thopters. And I still have ways to go over the top here. All right, I think that also insulates me a little bit against Staticaster, although Staticaster is pretty much just killing me here. I think I'd rather have the extra ballistic counter than Stirrings right now. But is that really true? What if I Stirrings into Ravager? My opponent has a blocker. So that doesn't really matter. And I don't want to have to Stirrings into a land. I think I do this. Maybe I'm supposed to do this and this. I probably am. Interesting. Because it's not like I'm going to Ballista this to death, right? We're blocking this forever. That's just where we're at in life. I don't think I attack with these. I mean, I could attack with one and ping it and hope to block the other one. The Reflector Mage is a little worse for me. Wow, what an interesting game. Block this. This next turn is going to be a huge decision point for us. If I want to be leaving up Phyrexia's Core or not, stuff like that. I really want to look for Arcbound Ravager. Though I don't have the mana after Stirrings to play Ravager. And also activate Inkmoth Nexus. Still think I want to dig. Well, also activate and attack, I should say. Opal Jar Arcbound Worker. None of these matter. So I think I might just take Opal so that I can play Hanger back and still have Core up. And then attack with just Ballista. I guess that means I do that first. The problem is if I attack with this and they vial something in, I'm going to feel like I need to use my mana on that. Then I'm dead Reflector Mage. Yeah, I guess I don't want to do that. Change my mind. This and this. Leave up Phyrexia's Core. To be as cautious as possible. Because I think we're winning the long game here. You know, we've got a lot of ways to generate a lot of way over the top value. I just don't want to die to a weird sequence. Like they could very easily be holding Image and then draw Reflector Mage, for example, you know, something of that sort. Thalia, sure. Don't care about paying that right now, of course. Don't care about using my Phyrexia's Core. Okay. I want to activate this on defense. I want to play this. Or would I rather play around Dismember? I think I just pass. Ideally, I spend all my mana on Ballista and Hanger back this turn, but we'll see what happens. Bana is not drawing super well at this point. So I think I block with the Worker. And this could be time for me to consider putting the counters here instead of continuing to do this Hangerback Walker nonsense. But I think I want to use all my mana on everything else, so I'll probably just put it on Hangerback Walker. So again, if they've drawn Reflector Mage, I would basically lose the game if I put down Phyrexia's Core here. So I probably just do this. I can't just open myself up to Reflector Mage like that. Gotta leave up the core. All right. Yeah, Thalia, my bad. Is it Blink Moth? Like this? It's probably fine. I also have to worry about Staticaster. Maybe I chump with... Maybe I should have left Blink Moth up and chumped with Blink Moth this turn. It's like no way I chump with Ballista. But I'm a little worried about Staticaster, so I'd almost like to have another sack outlet. Yeah, I guess that means I chump with... Oh, then I don't leave up core. Chump with Ink Moth. Oh no, I can use the Ink Moth mana to pump this. And I guess I need to be worried about clock as well. And now we're just outsizing this champion as well. Does that extra mana gain me anything? No, not really. Just pass. Also, it's not an extra mana unless I kill the Thalia, which we can do, but... All right. If I hadn't lost my Ink Moth Nexus by blocking with it, I could have had enough mana to activate Ballista, I get to hold up core and do everything else I wanted to do. This is fine. Sure. I mean, we have this Ballista if we do happen to draw it, so it's not a big deal. Another Vial also doesn't matter. They don't get to attack. Means we get to activate this, and we continue to leave up core. 13. Oh, I could have probably killed them this turn instead of waiting another turn. Since we could have activated Ballista, but it's probably better to wait another turn. I don't think taking that additional risk makes any sense. Now I have enough mana to where I'm supposed to do this. Three, 4. All right. So I think we're set up to kill this turn cycle. It's definitely possible that I played this game too conservatively, played around too many things, but I think we had the luxury to do so, just, you know, leaving up core every turn, not getting blown out by Reflector Mage. I think all that stuff makes sense. I have Ballista now, so even Staticaster doesn't get me, even if I put down core to sack this. So I think it's time to go for it. Because I can use the Ballista to shoot the token the Staticaster shoots. Just going to go straight to combat. And opponent packs it in. All right, sweet. Like I said, there's probably a lot of turns earlier where we could have maybe won that game, but I think taking it a little slower makes sense in that particular game. But either way, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in just a moment for the deck tech. Or excuse me, the wrap up rather.